everyone, Sandy here. Welcome to my channel and happy Christmas week. This is the beginning of the week before Christmas and we're all busy, I'm sure, and finishing up on shopping and baking and making candy and cookies and wrapping those gifts and just finishing everything up and getting ready for Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day. Now, I haven't been able to make many cards this year, but I did want to make a few really quick and easy ones that look kind of fancy maybe, but are really simple to do. I'm calling these the, this is not a new technique, but I'm calling them the Fun Fold ribbon cards. You can whip these up in just a few minutes and pop them in with a gift. So that's my focus on that, because really it's probably too late to be putting any in the mail, and with the ribbon on them and the little fold, it might not work well anyway. So these are something you can make and pop in your gift cards, in with your gifts, your packages, and they're a lot of fun to make and give you some relaxing time doing a bit of crafting. And I'll tell you how I did it. I'm going to show you how to make one. I made four. I'm making four. I've made three already. I'm going to make the fourth one here with you. I am using Country Craft Creations exclusive Christmas Dreams 8x8 paper. 8x8 paper works great for cards. So this is exclusive. If you already have it, great. You can make it with that, or you can make it with 12x12 papers if you're running short of time and don't have time to order. But you'll always want to pick up some of these 8x8 packs for your card making. So check that out. It will always be available at countrycraftcreations.com. So this is the 8x8 pack. It's what I made all four of these cards with. You're going to want to make 4 cards. You need 2 sheets of the 12x12 cardstock, and I'm using the white artisan. So you get 2 cards out of each 12x12, the way that you cut them. Show these to you real quick. This is the one I made with the nutcracker. And what you do is just untie your ribbon here on the right, and then when you pull on this side, it opens all the way up. And then you could put your message in here if you want to, or you could do it on the back, however you want to do. So that is how they open up. All of them open up the same. I'm going to show you how to do that with your ribbon, how to get that all lined up in there like that. So that's the nutcracker one. Then I made one out of this really pretty Santa with the pink poinsettias. Love how this one turned out with some sheer pink ribbon. And this one is more of a festive red with the red seam binding ribbon. You can order your ribbon from Country Craft Creations with the Santa paper and the sparkly gold and the moon in the sky. So I love how this turned out. And this one says Merry Christmas. So the front elements on all of these are made with the cut-aparts tags that come with that 8x8. So you got everything you need in that. You just need, to make 4 cards, you need 2 sheets of 12x12 cardstock. I use artisan white. You need some ribbon, seam binding or sheer ribbon that you like that goes with the colors. Use your scraps of your cardstock for your backing of your little pieces here. And then you're going to want art glitter glue and some foam dots or foam squares, okay, with your ribbon. I'm going to use a punch, my scissors, bone folders, scoring tool, scoreboard, and I've already pre-cut all my papers out of my cardstock and my paper here. So let's get started on this card. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to set all this aside real quick, and we're going to take our cardstock. So you, for one card, you need a piece that is cut down to 5.5 by 8.5. And we're going to put the 8.5 at the top, and we're going to score at 2 1/8, 2 1/8, and 4 1/4. These are going to make what's called A2 cards, which are 4 1/4 by 5.5 when finished. Now you're just going to fold here on that 4 1/4 line and burnish. That makes your base. That makes your A2 base. Then you're going to fold back on itself at that 2 1/8. Match that up, and that gets that special look right there. Okay? So we have that. Next, we're going to take our inside piece, which we have cut down to fit inside here, at 4 wide by 4 1/4 tall. So it just kind of gives us a little border around it. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this piece in. And I just use glue to mat on my cards. Leave that in, make sure it's going the right direction. You want your fold here on the left. And I'm done with my scoring, so I'm going to move this scoreboard out of the way. So I'll have a flatter surface. Let's move that down. Grab our bone folder and burnish that. So there we have that. Then we're going to put, I don't pattern the back sides of these. I do pattern the back side of this when I'm finished, but I'm going to pattern these two. So I've cut 2 pieces of this paper. Each one is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these in. And you can reverse the paper if you wanted to. I'm just going to use the same side on this one. Line this up here, right in that section. You don't want to go over your fold lines though, so make sure you're not going over the fold lines. And I'm just lining up here at the bottom so that they're at the same location or space. Okay, and then the one that goes here on the front. Now if I wanted to, I could do that. That's kind of pretty like that. So I think I'm going to reverse that one. So for sure I'm going to reverse that one, get that kind of tufted quilted look there, satiny look. And that's going to lay right here. Line that one up too. I think you'll be real surprised how quick and easy this card is to make. Okay, so this is the way it looks now. When it folds up, it goes like that. Now we have to do some punching for our ribbon. So we're going to open this up, and about, I don't have a slot punch. If you have a slot punch, use that because it would be easier. I'm going to use a hole punch, the larger hole punch here on my crocodile. I'm going to use a hole punch, a larger hole punch here with my crocodile, and about in the center and about 1/4 inch from the edge, I'm just going to punch through both thicknesses of the card. See this folded down? Just like that. So that does put a hole here in these 2 places, and that's what you want. Okay? So now we're going to do the ribbon. We're going to add that. So I have about a 24, maybe 26 inch piece of ribbon. I'm using the sheer pink on this. And I'm going to pick this up where I punched my holes. Now first I'm going to take my small scissors, and I'm just going to do a little clip on each side to kind of make more room for my ribbon to come through without it being bunched up. Okay, does that make sense? I'm just kind of making a slot here on both sides of the hole, kind of making a keyhole. Now if I were good with my craft knife, I would do this with a craft knife, but I don't know, I tend to booger things up with my craft knife. So I just kind of cut that like that, open it up in here, kind of maybe clean it up just a tad, kind of a little angle cutting here, so that my ribbon doesn't bunch up a whole bunch in there. So making a little wider, kind of like an angle cut. That, cut that out. And most of that will be covered up with your ribbon, so don't worry about that a whole lot, but try to do it as neatly as you can. Okay, so I have that. So now we close this back up like this. We're going to turn it over with it, with the first flap open. So we have it, we're going to turn it over like we've closed the card, and from the back side we're going to insert our ribbon. I'm just going to poke that through, grab it on the, and it goes all the way through both thicknesses. So here it is, we insert it on the back. We're going to pull it to the front like this, then we fold this down, and the ribbon, pull through those slots, kind of flatten it out as best you can. Right there. Okay. And it's going to come around to the front. So the next thing I do, once I get it straightened out pretty good, is I bring the tails around to the front. So I'm going to show you. So we put it in the back. We pull it all the way through it where the hole is, not the front one. The front one doesn't have a hole. We lay the front one down. We wrap it over it. We bring this over. And now we're just going to tie the bow. I'll tie it kind of over here on the left, and I'll pull it, you know, pretty snug. Oops. Or it'll pop up if you don't. So tie that, and then you can adjust your bow and your tails how you want them. Now you can do, depending on your ribbon, the seam binding ribbon, I would suggest that you tie the knots. This one, you can tie them or dovetail them. I'm going to tie. I just tend to always tie knots on the ends of my ribbons. It's a personal preference what you like. I just like to do it so it doesn't ravel. And this one's a little shorter than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to pull it a little bit. But get these tied. There, trim that off where it's kind of raggedy. This one I'll make a little shorter, kind of to match the other side, but not too short. You don't want it too short. Cut that off. Okay, so I'm going to show you. We've got it tied. Now we're going to take our piece that we made. I've already done mine. I cut out the cut apart. I matted it to some white, some of the scraps. I matted it to a scrap of the pink from the paper that I'm going to use from the tags, and I matted it to some more white cardstock. And this side needs trim just a tiny bit to kind of even it out. And I just use my big straight scissors for that. Okay. Now then, this is where we'll use our foam dots, because if we use glue, our ribbon is going to catch. And this ribbon here has to be free. It has to be able to slide back and forth. So I take my piece that I'm going to lay here, and I'm going to see where I want to put it, top and bottom, and especially the center. And I know that I want my adhesive square dots on this side here. So I'm going to put 2 on each end, just on that side where it's going to touch down. Because where it sticks out over this part, you don't want it sticky. Now I'm going to bring in some more squares, and I'm going to make sure that I know how thick my ribbon is. Oops, string on there. I know how big my ribbon is, and it needs to go through here. So I'm leaving enough space for that ribbon to slide back and forth. So I'm going to go ahead and take the backings off. Okay, right here. Okay, so now we have it. Adhesive on foam tape, squares on the left back side, and then we take it and we're going to position it over that ribbon, making sure sticky doesn't get on the ribbon. And we line it up nice and straight, so it's attached here and here, and I know it's not attached back here, so I'm going to untie it and show you. So when you untie this and you pull this little piece here like this, it straightens out like that, and there's your card. So now all we have to do is the back side. So if you turn it over, you see you have nothing stuck there. So we pull this back through. Flat. Sorry about that. Kind of get my tails even here. And then we just tie it. So it's a fun fold ribbon card. So just tie my loops here. Now all I need to do is add onto the back. So I cut a piece of pattern paper that I wanted for the back. That is 4 by 5 1/4. It's going to cover this part here, and it's okay that it's covering this. It's going to hold this back piece of ribbon down. But the other is going to be free to slide where it's supposed to. Whoops, too much glue there. Wipe that up. And attach this down right over the back to finish it up. And this is a good place to write a message if you want to keep the front inside pretty. And so there you go, all nice and simple. We have all 4 cards. I made the other 3 off camera, but they all are made the same. All look just a little bit different. This one needs to go, but there we go. Just like that. So retie this one. So I wish each of you a very Merry Christmas. I'll be doing some more projects after Christmas for New Year's. The coming year, I still have some of December left, and I have some of my goals that I want to get done of what I wanted to make in December. I shared that earlier in a video. And I'm still working on my album for my book box, so you'll be seeing that this week. So that's an ongoing series of tutorials. But I do want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and hope you have a lot of fun and you enjoy yourself and make merry and get to see your loved ones and friends and have a great time. And I want to thank you so much for being a part of my YouTube channel and following me along in my tutorials that I create mostly for Country Craft Creations. So thanks everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.